Alrighty, y'all. I just want to do a quick powwow on GameStop going into Monday of next week. I don't know if I'll cover it tomorrow, but I really wanted to cover it today. It's something that has been on my mind for quite some time. And when you look at the chart's history here, you realize how close we are to earnings. And you look at the last couple of times that you've had earnings, it's been significant for the chart's history pretty much every single time. And you can put this into buying pressure. You can put this into recently you've had immense institutional buying compared to the past of this stock, as well as options contracts. I'm looking at you guys. I know everyone in here is typically a GME options degenerate. And I would not be surprised to see what is making those tops happen every single time. But what I do know is almost every single time in the last 2 years, your earnings for GameStop have been front run with extreme upside. So going into earnings, you ran 71%. Oops. Earnings happens here, right here, and you dump almost 50%. No, it's more like 30%. The next example, going into earnings week, you go top or bottom to top in this pennant formation back down to the bottom, which is kind of crazy. So we are now approaching 2 to 3 weeks from earnings time. So I would anticipate some kind of volatility. It's happened every single time, and it has not failed. You see back here, a week before earnings, ran 30%. And then you dumped to the bottom of this wedge. So this wedge has kind of acted as the earnings pump and dump almost. It's kind of funny. Back here, going into earnings, you pumped up $4. Back here, you had a nice sized move from 12 up to 16 before you got absolutely demolished down to $9. So this earnings pump, do not be surprised when you see it, because historically every single time it's been right 100% of the time. But just for retrospect, you pumped 50% going into earnings. Earnings occurs right here, and this was a 10% move. And then you topped out as soon as you hit the 200-day EMA as you cross negative on the daily MACD. And then you fizzled out until the next earnings. Back here, pumped into earnings from 14 up to 19, and then fizzled all the way to the next earnings. Earnings here. What was this? You had a fake out into earnings, and then earnings you pumped 40%. Back here was one I will never forget. I will actually never forget where I was when I saw this happen, because AMC and GameStop both made the exact same move. Absolutely filthy on earnings. And then you created some kind of V before you've dumped. So it was a double top. Back here. Whoa. Come on, earnings. Come on, GameStop. Brought me all the way back to the squeeze. But I don't have to keep going. You guys get the story. You guys get the gist. And we're going into earnings. So we're going into earnings. You guys get the gist. You get the story. Every single time you've pumped into earnings. Now, this is where I am optimistic because this was during the bear market. It was also during this immense downtrend and immense selling pressure all the way to the bottom of $9. This was in the bull pennant formation, right? If you run even as far as like 10%, you're out of this wedge and you're flying to the gap fills. We know this. We've covered this above 4%, and you're flying to the gap fills, quite literally. If you get a move that is anything like the last couple of earnings moves, which is like 30%, you feel the gaps, which is great, right? But now you've made higher high, higher high. You would anticipate another higher high, probably right around $40, right? Which is almost a 100% move. That would be a crazy earnings move. That would be beautiful. Now, what gets me absolutely excited is people take for granted the work that our boy Ryan Cohen is doing behind the scenes because he's so silent. This man is an assassin of shorts. He's literally behind the shed, like putting them down. It's crazy what this guy's doing. But I just wanted to grok. What is the most likely GameStop earning expectations? So in this, Grok goes over the earnings estimate date around September 8th or September 9th. That falls on what day? September 9th. Tuesday or Monday. So I anticipate that Friday will be insane, and I love it. Consensus EPS estimate is 19 cents per share, a significant 1,800 increase year over year from 1 cent profitable back in Q2 of 2024. So you just take a moment to appreciate and zoom out the trajectory that GameStop is on. Absolutely, probably having one of the better, or if not best, year over year increases on their profitability. So bottom line, GameStop is going to be profitable. We know this, right? But the revenue estimate is approximately $1.3 billion. That is what Grok is giving us. And you have a lot of fundamental things coming out, such as the new Nintendo Switch, right? That is a huge thing. And then you also have the Bitcoin investment. 4,710 Bitcoin, approximately 515 million in Q1. I believe I did the math here. Let's do it on. Do I have the calculator? I sure do. All right, so if we got 4,710 Bitcoin, right? Times what's the current price of Bitcoin? Oh, Bitcoin. Where you at? Where you at, dog? Ha! $17,000. All right. Times 17. Oops. Times 17,000 equals 551,000. Is that what Grok was giving me? No. 551,000. So you could anticipate an almost $40 million unrealized profit from GameStop's investment that would be rolling into the earnings. That is the first time you are seeing that kind of return in GameStop's history just from buying Bitcoin. That's absurd. I don't have to tell you that is obscene. That kind of thing is happening on our beloved meme stock here. Core business revenue of collectibles grew 54% in Q1. Insider activity, this is something that I haven't covered, but is very, very prevalent, and it makes my conviction run deep in GameStop as well. Ryan Cohen and multiple other insiders, people of the company, CEOs, right, bought stock within the last year, which is a fantastic fundamental sign. And then it goes over like bullish case, bearish case, volatility. Regardless, right, the year-over-year alone is absurd. So we want to see this continue, and we want to see GameStop capitalize on the volatility swing that you're about to have. Because if you have another 2,000% increase year over year, and Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, I mean, if it lines up, right, and as you're breaking out, as you have the weekly cross on the MACD, as Roaring Kitty tweets, like this thing could get so stupid so fast. And so I would say caution yourselves, right? Caution yourselves. Definitely adhere to risk management. But for me, I think that this thing is going to go higher. It's not financial advice, but I personally am invested in GameStop because I believe in the CEO. I believe in Ryan Cohen. I believe in the direction that he is taking the company, cutting stores that are not profitable and expanding the top line. For me, that is a pitch perfect business model, and they will continue to invest as they see good opportunities. So this thing is, I think, a sure bet, in my opinion, to fill the gap fills that it has in the daily. Here, 28 and 29. So GameStop is ready to do something it has not done in over a year. One of these. So if you can have one of those, that'd be really, really nice. But we'll have to wait and see for September 8th to 9th, guys. It's just such a blessing that you've seen something like this develop. And so now we have the opportunity ahead of us in which the setup is there. And this setup can make this setup look a whole heck of a lot better. Because when this thing runs. And so you're looking at the gaps north of 13, 19, and 43. You're looking at the gaps of 28, 30, and 73. These things, if given the opportunity, may do something stupid. So that's all I got for today, guys. Tune in for the next video. I'll do 2 more tomorrow. Drop feedback if you want to see anything covered in general. I know the guy covered Neo, mentioned the $24 gap that I hadn't seen before. We covered that today in our previous video. But drop some love below. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Call to action. Slap the subscribe button and tune in for the next video, guys. Love you all. And peace.